Thank you. I now recognize the gentleman from Pennsylvania, Mr. Perry, for 5 minutes.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thanks to the panel for being here. I have the distinct honor of representing the district that much of lies in the shadow of the towers, the cooling towers of 3 Mile Island. I'm also happy to report that it is a vibrant, healthy, and productive community in the shadow of 3 Mile Island, and most of the residents are absolutely thrilled that the jobs will be coming back, that the lights will be coming on, and that the power of 3 Mile Island will be produced. And I, for one, hope that they will install a second reactor, one of the ones that we're talking about here today, on that site that is so well situated for such a facility. Now, I can't go on without just noting that my friends on the other side of the aisle seem to be concerned about the profits that are made by power companies that engage in constructing and operating nuclear facilities, while it seems to me over the course of at least the last 10 years, my colleagues on that side of the aisle have promoted and enacted policies that have increased the bills of my constituents, my bosses, my neighbors, the people I live around, I don't know, maybe tenfold. It's astounding. They don't seem to care how much citizens pay for electricity and how much renewable, we'll call them renewable energy operators make on government subsidies and mandates, because their products simply can't compete in the market. They seem to have no problem with that. But I just think it's important that we at least attempt to set the record straight while we're in one of these hearings and have the counter discussion to just assuming that profit is bad, that everybody that runs a nuclear facility is dangerous, careless, and doesn't care about the citizens that they serve. And only people interested in renewables are willing to give up all their profits, which they're not, and provide low-cost energy to the masses, which they're not that either. As a matter of fact, it's the highest cost energy, and it's also very much more dangerous than nuclear energy. But that having been said, because I'm going on, Mr. Epstein, the ADVANCE Act required that the NRC now switch to general environmental impact statements. One of the things that drives what kind of energy produced is how investments, when individuals, when concerns invest their money in something, they want to know that they're going to get a return on it. And I hope they get a profit too, because they're investing in something and putting their money at risk. That's how things work in America. But putting your money at risk for 15 or 20 years without any surety that there's going to be a positive outcome is a detractor from that investment. And essentially the regulations that are in place now are a deterrent to the advancement of nuclear energy and general production itself. So if you could just briefly explain how not doing the same thing over and over and over again for the same kind of design is going to be helpful to the industry, save the industry money, and in turn save my bosses, citizens of America, my constituents money.
For sure. So I think it's really important that you raise the issue of profit, because we absolutely want nuclear energy companies to be able to make a profit by competing to provide the lowest cost, most reliable energy, just like we want phone manufacturers to be able to make a profit providing the most cost-effective phones, AI people providing the most cost-effective AI, et cetera. The problems arise. There are two kinds of problems that arise. One is when you restrict the ability of profit-making entities to compete by not allowing them to do their jobs, which things like having a new environmental impact statement for every nuclear plant, even if it's the exact same thing, that just dramatically increases costs. The other thing that you raised is when you subsidize inferior forms of energy, that also raises costs. We always pay more total, but in particular with solar and wind, it's particularly egregious, because what it does is it puts more intermittent, unreliable solar and wind on the grid that doesn't replace the reliable energy. It adds to the cost of reliable energy. It allows them to win all of the market bids. So they take the money away from the reliable power plants. The reliable power plants get defunded, can't make a profit. This is why we have a shortage of gas turbines. One of the reasons why nuclear is in bad shape. But we cannot build dispatchable capacity profitably because we've screwed up the markets with subsidies. So the big, beautiful bill, by far the best thing about it, in my opinion, was dramatic cuts to these grid-destroying, price-increasing solar and wind subsidies.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield.